Hey everybody, so this is continuation on the two bender. So what we got here is the construction that I did over here to hold the Pittsburgh 8-ton press in order to actually work the two bender. And again, this is a cheap two bender from Amazon. It was about $200 or so, and then the die, this die, it's a 1.5 inch and it's a 120 degrees die. It was about 148. I'm gonna put links for those. And then this was from Harbor Freight. It was about $80 or so. And then what I did, it's a ram over air for the piston, so you don't have to pump it here manually, but you can still pump it manually. But I put, instead of the hand trigger, I put actually one that work with air, and then it's make the job a little bit easier to do. And I already did like one bending on this, and the bending that I did was okay, but now I want to show you guys. So I got to the industrial metal supply and I got a tube. This is 1.5 and it's 164 wall. The thickness of the wall is 164. And what I did a cheater, so you have like every inch it's marked, and then we see how much the bend's gonna be. Now this machine is still new and it's still kind of breaking in, and like, you know, it's kind of like getting all the friction and everything, so it's like it's still working a little bit harder than what it should. And I'm gonna show you guys what it does and how it's gonna bend this. And I bended thinner wall, and a thinner wall you get crinkles. So I did a 14 gauge, and a 14 gauge you get crinkles in the inside. So we're gonna do a thicker one in order not to have it. Now whenever you buy also your two bender, you have to look in the instruction. You see this piece here, you see how those holes going inside? Some of them go inside, some of them going outside. So you need to see, it could be a preference, but then the die don't sit in the right place, or it's end up too tight. What I did here, I put the piston, I opened the piston a little bit, and now I'm gonna show you how to close it. So you don't go here, I 3D printed the knob, and then you just open it up, and then easily you just push it back in with your hand, and it's locked back to place, and then you lock this back. Now I put here a rubber strip in order to pull it back, but it's a little bit too long. I'm gonna need to get a shorter one. Initially what this is going to do is like it's hook up from here to the back of the jack over there somewhere, and when it's stretched it's supposed to actually push it back, but it's not gonna do it right now because this is too long, so I'm just gonna push it manually. So let me put a tube inside, set it up, and we go from there. Okay, so I'm gonna put the tube that I have right now, I'm gonna put it inside here, and then you have to lock it into place. Now here is the problem: when it's brand new, stuff don't really match that good, because also it's a lower quality, so stuff don't match that good. So now if I put this thing right now here, the pin gonna go through it kind of very easily, but as soon as you want to put the guide, it's not gonna work as good. Okay, so this is hook up, but now I need to put the guide. So the guide over here, if I release this and that, when you do those two, bring this thing down, it's not really gonna fit unless I'm gonna actually push it into place. So if I'm gonna try to put right now the pin will not really go good inside. I have to kind of manipulate it a little bit in order to get it to where I want. So the way that I find to do that when it's doing this problem is actually to disconnect the front, and then do first the guide. Make sure that the guide is all the way through, and then you can see that the guide is closed on the front. It's gonna lock on the front, and you're gonna see it right there. See, if you move this, you can see that the guide is just going good. So you're gonna see that the guide going to where you want it, and then you're gonna lock the top. So after the guide is in place, then you do this, and now if you see, it's not really going all the way. So it's literally, if it's missing like 1/16 of an inch, and I think that this is a problem with this piece because it's new. But if you put it in and try to push it all the way, it's not really want to go there. But if you take a hammer and tap it a little bit, it's eventually kind of gonna fall into place. Let's hold this. Let's see. Yeah, so it's like literally it's getting stuck on the bottom lip over here. So I'm trying to figure out if I should just take the Dremel tool and just make this thing 1/8 of an inch wider, because this is the problem. Like if you look from the inside, you can see that the edge here is like kind of touching but not really letting it work. So let's try to maybe flip it. Yeah, when you flip it, you see it actually better, that the space is not set up the right way. You know, when you see over there the holes, the two holes not really aligning the right way. It was actually working better this way. Let's do it again. You have to make sure that it's kind of standing in the center of both of them. Okay, let's stop it for a second. Okay, so now our tube is in. We fixed the problem here. You have to close the screw here to create tension, and then you don't have a lot of spring back right now. So we're going to put our dial into make sure it's standing good. We're going to put it into 1. It's like actually 0 degrees. And then one thing that you need to do is you have to put a little bit WD-40 or some lubricant on your dies. It's helps flowing a little bit better. And now I try to put the bungee here, see if it's going to work, hook up to the engine hoist, and then what we're going to do is we're going to let this actually pull and see what will happen. I'm going to start running it, and then we're going to go from there. Now I did the pedal on the foot, so all I need to do, just press this. This is locked. Okay, it's working. Let's start. Okay, this is first 10 degrees. 10 degrees is good. It's working. The guide is tight over here. Everything else is good. Everything is going good. Let's see, the tube is not moving. Let's continue. We are at 20 degrees now. So we see we start getting the bend over here. And now we haven't marked it where going to be the beginning. We're going to see it later, because it's going to be here a mark from the machine itself. So before I take it out, I'm going to mark where is the beginning of the bend is. Okay, so we move a little bit to this angle, so you guys gonna be able to see. I put a bungee here to see if it's gonna stretch it and open it up. So let's see. We're at 50 degrees, and soon we have to stop it and move the dies. But let's see how much we can go. I think another 10 degrees. Okay, and then we almost at the end of the tube. I think we have like a couple more degrees. I think we can put it all the way to probably like 70 before we need to shift over here this pin to the next hole for the 90. So I'm gonna keep going. Okay, I think this is the maximum 65. This is still straight and nice. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna release it. And how you do that? I 3D print here a plug, and you just open it, and then the entire contraption gonna go back. Actually, look, it was going a little bit by itself, but then I can probably help it a little bit. It's very hard. You know why? Because you need to take the pin out. It will not move if you're not going to take this pin out. So the pin right now is a little bit under pressure, and we need to move this over there. So I'm going to have to close it back and give it a little bit more power, just so it can pull out, and then I can pull it out. But again, this is like the cheaper Amazon version, so you're going to need to do a lot of tinkering with the measurement here. Let's see. Yep, that's it. Now it just came out, and now I can actually release it and close it. Yeah, it's actually, look, it's working. And it even make a funny noise. Okay, so now you got it right there. I need to move just a little bit more, and then I find out that to put those things in, usually they're gonna go most of the way, and then you treat them better with a hammer and they will just work. So we were at like 75 degrees. Let's see, all right, 65 degrees, I'm sorry. And now we're gonna continue. So what happened now here, we moved from 1 to 2. This is 120 degrees, but we're only doing 90. So this is open over there, and it's good enough. Let's continue. Let me shut off the compressor because it's really noisy and annoying. Even the crow complain. Let's stop here. We are at 80 degrees, and then there is something called spring back. So we're going to do only 90 degrees. So we have to get closer to the 90, release it and see how much it's go back, and then give it another click just so it will finish the extra degree that it's need. Usually it's about between, I think, 2 to 3 degrees, but let's go. $85 degrees, and we are at exactly 90 degrees. And if you look from the top, you can actually see the 90 degrees bend right now from here to there. Yep, let's go bigger. 90 degrees. And now this is showing the 90 degrees bend, but as soon as we're gonna release the pressure, let's see what happens. If it's gonna spring back a little bit, yeah, we move half a degree backwards. So we're gonna do 91 degrees. And then when I open it, that's it. It's gone back to 90 degrees. The spring back, let's see. Yeah, it's 90 degrees. Okay, now it's the tricky part. Because now what we need to do is to release the machine. Okay, so this is where it gets really annoying to do, because now this part is under pressure. Okay, we have like the 90 degrees from here to here. Okay, and we have the markers that we did, but we have a situation now. I see that I have here kind of like 1 degree, but here where the 90 is, I see that it's not really 90. I think that this is maybe moved when I was moving around the machine. I think I maybe bumped it, because this go from here, this go there, but I don't really have a complete 90 degrees. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get real quick a measuring device and measure that this is 90 degrees and see if I need to add a little bit before I release it. So I got this. If I put this above and I try to kind of set it up with some of the tube over here, I see that I'm missing a couple degrees over here. I think that I'm probably missing I would say like about 10 degrees. I think that I bumped this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna add a couple more degrees. I'm gonna add another 5 degrees for now. And I passed the 5 degrees because when I open, it's gonna spring back 1 degree. And now if I'm checking, it's look very close to be like actually a straight. Yeah, you do need a longer triangle. Yeah, it need a little bit more. It need one more. 5. Okay, now we have 90 degree, because what happened, I moved the gauge right here. So this is very clumsy, so this is moved, and when I moved around the machine, I moved it sideways. So now we can actually release the machine, and we should have like a 90 degrees, and then we can confirm it. So first of all, release the pressure. Okay, now when you release the pressure, you have to do a couple different things. You have to release all those, and now everything is still under tension here. Even though we release the tube, it's still under a lot of pressure, like for this part. For example, I cannot really pull this in out. I need to play with it a little bit backward and forward to see where it's gonna go. Press the button over there. Press it a little bit. That's it. Stop. That's it. So when you add some power, you can actually loosen it up. So now this is a little bit loose, so this part can actually easily flow back when I release it. Gonna go all the way. Let's push it all the way. Okay, it's all the way in. Now we can see actually better after we did it. We can see the angle here that the tube actually got nicely got rounded, but it's still in, so we need to take it out. So we need to push it backward, and then again with those old Chinese machine, I find out that like hammer help a lot. So what I do, I'm gonna take this pin, put it underneath, and push this one out first, and take the tracer out. And yes, it does need to pop out by itself. If someone need to put in the comments, it does supposed to. Okay, and then let's try to pop this backward a little bit, because this is stuck. It's really stuck really bad, so it's really like loaded pretty strong now. So what I'm gonna do is like, you're just gonna go and punch it until this is popping up, and then the tracer gonna go back, and then everything gonna loose up from the front as well. Usually you want to pull this one out, but this one is, it's like, it's so short, it's hard to do. I'm gonna have to put like a pin or something here in order to pull it. We release the top, and then this is kind of got loose right away, and then this will come out. Let's flip it for quick, and there is our 90 degree, and it's smooth. Now let's clean it real quick. Okay, so there's our bend, and now let's check the 90 degrees on it. Okay, we're gonna go here. We need a longer tool. It's not long enough. Whoops. Yeah, this is definitely a 90 degree from here to there, like the walls. This is where the straight is, so this is where they start the bend of the 90 degrees, and this is the end of the 90 degrees. So I need a longer tool to show that this is actually going to be like straight here, and then this line going straight down. So we do have here, whoops, a nice 90 degree, and then that's it. So, and then again, I'm gonna put link for everything that I have over here, and then I'm gonna show you guys something really cool that I did on this machine. So what everything's falling today. You know, when we're done with the machine and we put everything back, all the tools, oh, I see what the problem is. This is a little bit off. That's it. Okay, now when this is done and you need to store it, all you do is this. You go over here, you pull this plug out, and you turn the machine, and then the machine can fit sideways somewhere, and this is how it looks. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you have any question, I have a video how I made this instead of paying some company that make it, and their product is worth it. It's like $250, You can make it, buy it ready, but I made it for probably like $5, so it was cheaper. So this was the video about this kind of Harbor Freight, and then this is Amazon. So don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. And if you have any comments, or you saw that I did something wrong, correct me in the comment below, so we'll see like how to do another video. But overall, we got a very nice band, and it's pretty thick wall. It's a 168, I think, the wall. 168 or 161. It's pretty thick. So see you next time.